Quick disclaimer, going over the patch notes, I used information from this site, auto-translated to English, using Google Translate and DeepDL to translate some of the Japanese expressions so I can get more information regarding them. So this will be a review of the Sparking Zero patch notes. The auto-generated patch notes will be here. The first one's on the top, and my translation and understanding will be at the bottom. So, battle systems, let's get into it. Slower backdashes, so this is when you're in close combat and you press the X button to just dash backwards. You'll have a slower distance cover. Either the distance will be less or it'll just take longer for you to do it. Great thing about this is you will now have to engage in a more offensive playstyle and less defensive or aggressive, because you will not be rewarded as much for running away as you would be for approaching your opponent. Really great stuff. Reduced. So this is definitely going to be beneficial to giants. So if you're ever playing against a giant and your natural approach is to backdash, you won't be able to do so as much, and the giants will be able to cover the ground much more easily. Alright, reduced recovery time for Dragon Dash. So after you've done a Dragon Dash, you'll be able to recover much faster and be able to make inputs. So we love this one as well, universal. Okay, next one, high speed Dragon Dash. So buffered inputs are now allowed, so it's easy to connect to your opponent. So therefore, when you're doing a Dragon Dash towards your opponent and you press square or whatever it is, it'll now be easier because the attack will now be buffered, like a buffered input like you would on Mortal Kombat, and then literally just execute in sequential. So the timing is a bit more flexible and much more easier for you to connect your combos. Reduced charge time for smash attack, so therefore you will need to hold your light attack to charge a smash attack all the way. It'll now come much faster. For you to hit them with a smash attack that sends them flying, if that's what you want to do. It's also going to be beneficial for combo resets, so you'll be able to get to a level 2 charged smash attack with a bit more ease. Adjusted that you can reach the front of the opponent. Let me just fix that typo. Forgive me. So this is in conjunction to, I assume when you're doing high speed Dragon Dash and you just do it in a circle to go around your opponent, you'll be able to just do without having to do a Z burst to just end up in front of your opponent. Cool then. Next one is the Z-Burst. Z-Burst, it has been increased activation costs. Alright, so Z-Burst now costs more to activate. You remember the initial when the game released, they were 1. Now, then previously they were 2. So now, since they have been increased in activation costs, no, I think this one is incorrect. This should be decreased. Sorry. Yeah, this is a decreased activation cost, therefore making it much more easier for you to navigate and Z-burst towards your opponent. This would be definitely beneficial for Androids 19 and 20 because they get 2 key bars on maximum on default, and they will not be able to Z-burst to the opponent. But now, if it costs less to Z-burst, they'll be able to Z-burst towards the opponent. But now, my question regarding this is, if it's about the distance traveled, is it calculated before you activate it or after? Because if it's after, it means that you'll be able to Z-burst and you'll just stop midway, halfway. All right. Yeah, that's also in conjunction to the distance traveled. Next thing on general combat is increased ki recovered after melee attacks. Let me just say melee hits. So this is definitely going to be beneficial for your Androids 19 and 20 who rely so heavily on melee attacks to refill the skill meter, and pretty much everyone in the entire cast, but it'll definitely benefit them the most. And better tracking on sidestepping opponents. Oh, we have dreamed about this. No more shadow boxing. No more when you guys are doing that sidestep dance, you will just be whiffing and hitting air. You will now be able to connect much better with the opponents. I really can't wait to see how much better it is. Is it completely cured, or is it just slightly better, or very much so? Really can't wait to see this one. Alright, Russian. This one I'm not even too sure. Fix the phenomenon in which some guards would be caught in between when performing a rush fight from a rush step-in. So pretty much when doing a rush step-in attack, sometimes I assume guard breaks would happen, but this one will better see it when the official notes come out. Alright, rush derivative. So rush derivatives, aka rush chains, heavy finish, flying kicks, stuff like that, can now be activated while fighting UI auto dodgers. So people like your UI Goku, Sign, and Ultra Instant Master and Whisk, you can now activate your smash attacks while whiffing. So therefore, it won't be a thing of you activate or your entire strings, and then therefore they now know they have the advantage to hit you. They will now have to either vanish, sidestep, dodge, and actually have to be less autonomous, and they now actually have to think. So it'll be a less of a brain dead character. We love to see it. Smash fighting. Smash attacks connect more smoothly during rush combos. Okay, so therefore, when you're using your smash attacks, it will now connect much more easier. Now, the next thing is Rush Air Bullet. This is specific to, I assume, only UI Goku, but the amount of damage has been reduced. These two changes of the Rush Air Bullet and the Smash Gas Bullet are most likely from seeing the high level gameplay. I know you can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes from the previous tournament. And also, scaling has been fixed when abused. So therefore, if you want to use it consecutively, it will now scale. Normally, it will actually reduce damage every single time you repeat it in sequence. All right, now Smash Gas Bullet. So it now reduced damage, therefore it'll do less damage when you use it. It can now be deflected. Now take note, you can deflect it. So therefore, if you press your guard button, you can deflect it and send it back to the opponent, but you cannot guard it. So therefore, you cannot just hold, block, and expect to not take any damage. It will still connect with you. Increased energy cost and recovery times for unblockables. So this one over here, it will now cost Goku more ki to charge and release this thing, and it'll take more time for him to recover, for him to be able to reuse this attack again. Recovery time. Let me just say increased recovery time for reuse. Cool. Now Perception got really meaty nerfs, so let's dive into them. So Perception. Alright, you cannot activate it during guard recovery. So I assume this is when someone has broken your guard and you are about to recover your guard. You cannot just instantly spam Perception. And I assume this will also be when someone uses revenge counter. So when someone activates revenge counter, you know that animation where you are about to recover and get your guard back. I assume that will also be affected as well, but don't quote me on that one. The next one, I think, this is an assumption, you can attack faster. So not sure if this is for all movements or just only offensive options, but you will now be able to attack faster after activating Perception. So this is a buff for the Perception users. Now, increased energy consumption. This is a nerf towards Perception. So therefore, people can no longer continuously mash Perception over and over and over again. It will now consume much more ki for you to use it. So people who use After Image Strike will definitely be able to bait you into mashing Perception a lot more. So definitely this one is I can't wait to see what this one actually does look like and how much it takes. This one I've been waiting for it the entire game. Super Perception consumption now increased when successfully activated from 1 skill count to 2. So therefore, it will no longer take 2 when you're defending against smash attacks like the heavy finish, blaster wave, keep cannon, all of that stuff will now take 2 skill counts instead of 1, because in Sparking Zero we know that skill counts meter builds up very quickly. So it costing more will make people have to think twice about using it. And therefore, if you're using low DP characters that have very low skill count thresholds like Raditz, you will now have to you won't be able to just spam Perception because you can only do it twice and then you're defenseless. All right, Super Deflection. This one was actually needed, so there's a buff. So whenever you use Super Deflection, you will actually switch this one around. Okay, sorry, this one should actually be above this. So let me just take this one and put it beneath this. All right. So when you deflect a super beam or anything like that, you will now, your stats buffs will now be much more powerful. Therefore, it'll by it having an increased duration, and also the effect of it will be of a higher quantity. So therefore, your ki charge, I know that was one of the benefits. You'll now be able to charge ki much faster, and it'll also last for much longer. All right, and also you'll also gain ki back. So therefore, when you deflect a super attack, you'll actually get some ki back. So it'll be pretty much a shortcut to full power ki charge. Now, this is definitely needed because I had no need to deflect any supers. It was literally a waste of skill count for minimal buffs, but now I see it actually has a bit more meat to it, so I might actually rely on it. All right, now the next thing is auto reflection. So auto deflecting ki blast will now only be entitled, will now be a privilege only rewarded to 7 DP characters. So therefore, if you're in max mode with Raccoon, we can still use Smash Ki Blast against your normal Ki Blast, as a matter of fact. So therefore, only powerful characters will auto deflect during Sparky mode. So this, I do love to hear it, but I really wish they did it more, and like literally they just made this thing a skill. So certain characters would be able to have a skill where they could actually just use skill points and become immune to Ki Blast for, let's just say, 10 seconds or something of the sort. Because right now, it still doesn't solve the issue of someone like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan having an unblockable ultimate, armor in Sparking mode, and being able to deflect Ki Blast. Makes him very powerful, very oppressive, and very easy to get with a 4 DP base Team Gohan. And the last thing is the other changes. So increased first key bar auto recovery. So therefore, this will be definitely beneficial for when you are getting beat, when you're getting beat down and abused via Vanish Wars. You will now have 1 key bar that will regain much faster, allowing you to do at least 2 vanishes in a Vanish War. So at least no one can hit you with a full volley for free. You'll actually recover a bit much faster and be able to at least do it twice. So at least you can regain your footing. Camera improvements, giants versus non-giants. You're using your giants in the game was completely nearly unusable because you would have to guess when you're being hit, or you'd have to spam super counters because you could not see the person that was hitting. You couldn't see it for the life of me. But I really wish they also fixed the hitboxes, because I did notice that hitboxes, not just with giants but also with big characters like your Bojacks, Brawlies, Garlic Jr. would actually whiff on small characters on the ground like Garlic Jr., like Cell Jr., Kid Goku, and other stuff like that. Alright, classic controls, fixed accidental throw activation and air combos. So I assume this is after you do a lift strike. There were sometimes it would make you grab when you didn't want to grab, but you actually wanted to just and you wanted to just sidestep behind the opponent. Now thankfully that'll be fixed. So people who use auto perception right after a lift strike will no longer be as oppressively powerful. And adjusted switch times worldwide. Alright, so this is your switch meter will now no longer come as faster, or it might become slower. I do hope that it is slower, so that therefore if you switch characters, you are now more locked in, more committed, and will have less access to recoverable health. Therefore, people won't just be able to oppressively go through the ranks using low DP characters and literally just win by switching all the time without actually fighting you. Yeah, because neutral in this game is too easy to regain, so these changes definitely make the game a bit more exciting.